Hello friends, my name is Bruce Rhodes and I have the privilege of leading the Southern Michigan Conference. In the past month, we produced 4 videos sharing in more detail the upcoming decision our 3 Michigan conferences will be making when we gather in June. If you're jumping into this video series today, I encourage you to go back and listen to the previous presentation so that you can understand the context that has led us to today's episode. So last week I shared 2 of the 4 primary drivers calling us to consider a statewide merger of the 3 Michigan conferences. Last week I covered the first 2 missional rationale, which were forming a new conference out of the 3 would enable us to strengthen and invest in pastoral formation and leadership development, and 2, forming a new conference that would help us to raise up and release new leaders into the mission. So today I want to address the other 2 missional rationale, which are this. Forming a new conference will help us to develop a statewide multiplication plan and provide a well-formed and well-resourced conference leadership team to serve and strengthen the regional and district leaders serving our conference. So let's get started. We believe that by forming a new conference, we will be better able to multiply new congregations throughout Michigan. In an earlier video, I mentioned that there are nearly 7 million unreached people right here in our state. 7 million. Jesus told us to pray that the Lord of the harvest would send out workers, and he spoke of the fields being ripe. Then he said, go. That's a command, isn't it? Praying and going is a response of God's people to God's call for greater kingdom impact. Friends, we have entire counties in our state with no Free Methodist presence. Our state is full of cities of over 10,000 people where there is no Free Methodist presence. There are many places in our state with no gospel presence. We can do better. We must do better. One of the things that excites me about this vision to form a new conference is the greater capacity that will be generated for the multiplication of new congregations throughout Michigan. In our superintendent team, there would be a dedicated assistant superintendent of multiplication, working closely with regional superintendents to identify new opportunities to advance the gospel work. In addition, multiplication would be well funded through the partnership with foundations and the multiplication fund that's already been established. A statewide multiplication plan gives us the opportunity to look at the harvest and determine where the resources are needed and to prepare, coach, and support those who are called among us to leave the barn and to get into the field, knowing that God's Spirit is preveniently at work before we ever arrive on the scene. The final rationale is this. A new conference would give us the ability to share our kingdom resources to make greater kingdom impact. One of the realities in Michigan is that no single conference possesses enough human or financial resource to accomplish greater missional impact. We believe in the inherent strengths of each conference, the inherent genius of each conference, and that each conference has something to offer that the others do not possess. As we bring these strengths into a missionally focused conference, we believe that we'll be better together than we can ever be by ourselves. For instance, forming ourselves into a new conference would offer us a critical mass of human and financial resources to create and empower teams that more fully align with the New Testament picture of leaders in the church. We believe in the APEST model found in the New Testament writing of Paul, that God called some to be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some shepherds, and some teachers. A new apostolically gifted lead superintendent would lead a well-formed team of leaders, assistant superintendent of multiplication, another assistant superintendent of leadership development that would work regionally with field superintendents and district leaders. We envision an apostolically wired superintendent working with a team of leaders consisting of prophets, evangelists, shepherds, and teachers that can take new ground as a well-resourced team is deployed. Together, they'd work toward directing mission and providing order and identifying and developing leaders and resourcing pastors and churches, advancing the work of the kingdom. I'm excited about that vision. And thanks for listening to today's video.